All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today we've got a lot to talk about. Our lots happened in the space since our last stream we did yesterday. Crypto is making new all-time highs across major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum as we speak. All right, and we have a crypto airdrop that you need to know about. All right, I'm going to talk about that in this video, answer some of your questions, and a lot more. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to master blockchain step-by-step start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. Last but not least, nothing I'm saying in this video is designed to be financial advice. And there's lots of scammers down in the comment section below. Just ignore them. Like, I'll never give you my phone number or ask you to invest with me. All right, so we got people jumping in the chat here. We've got David, Oleg, Clay, Gamer Life, Francis Lee, Automatic Beats, Daniel, Brick. Welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. So yeah, lots to talk about. Like I said, crypto is making new all-time highs as we speak, or at least approaching them. Major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether. Lots has happened in the space in terms of crypto news, and there's a airdrop that came across my desk yesterday that you should know about, especially if you've been working with technology, working with Ethereum, coding your own smart contracts, like I do on this channel. Is a high probability that you're eligible for this, okay? So let's start off with that. So one of the coolest services on Ethereum that's been around for a long time, kind of like an OG Ethereum service, is called Ethereum Name Service, or ENS. Okay, so what does it do? So if you've ever used blockchain, like you've sent cryptocurrency from your MetaMask account to somebody else's MetaMask account, or maybe like your Coinbase account or Binance account, whatever it is, to some other smart contract, you see this address, right? It's like 0x and then a bunch of letters and numbers after that. It's it's really long. It would be nearly impossible for you to memorize more than one of these things. Well, those are addresses, right? They belong to your wallet. They belong to smart contracts. Those are the two types of accounts that can exist on the blockchain, and they're not really human readable, right? It's hard for you to memorize. If I just tell you my wallet address to send me the money or vice versa, it'd be crazy. So that's where ENS comes into play, right? So you can basically create human readable names and assign them to Ethereum addresses. Okay, you might have seen this. You might have seen this on Twitter or maybe some other social networking website. You'll see people with .eth in their handle. All right, that means that they own an ENS name. Okay. So, basically, that allows people to assign these, screen names to your Ethereum address, and that's what ENS does. Sort of like a domain name for your Ethereum wallet, but that's the whole purpose of it. So, how this is relevant to the airdrop is basically ENS is decentralizing governance and is now accepting applications for DAO delegates. So, $ENS governance tokens will be open for claiming by ENS users. So snapshot made yesterday, a week from today, with more details about it then. All right, so a blog post for more. So it looks like the initial details of this is if you have used ENS, or you say, here's an example, Brantley.eth, okay? This is the corresponding Ethereum address, I believe. Basically, this is their screen name that they've registered with a smart contract that points to their address. So ENS essentially has decided that they are decentralized. And so you see this a lot in blockchain, where basically you create a protocol that does something for the blockchain community. In this case, it just registers, blockchain domain names essentially for their addresses. And then over time, they want to decentralize. So they start out centralized and they say, okay, we want to turn into a DAO basically, or a decentralized autonomous organization. In order to do this, we need a way to govern the DAO. So we're going to do a token. All right, now you could release your token multiple ways. We're going to do a cryptocurrency that lets people to vote based on decisions in the DAO. And you can do this multiple ways. So you could just give it to a bunch of insiders. You could sell it, or you could just basically airdrop it, which is what they're doing here. So this has happened a lot. It's happened with Uniswap. It's happened with lots of other people. And so, quick disclaimer here, airdrop also means you have to claim these tokens. They're not just going to magically appear in your wallet. Airdrop gets used sort of, interchangeably lots of different ways. But the whole idea here is if you've used ENS, before 2 days ago, then you're very likely eligible for this. And you need to check back fairly soon for your eligibility and see how much you get. So we've seen a lot of famous crypto airdrops do this same type of thing in the past. Like Uniswap did this, 1inch did this, DYDX did this, lots of others. And in many cases, like, some people who use these protocols with multiple wallets or multiple times, received like lots of money in airdrops. But last year alone, we did this on the Uniswap airdrop, and there were lots of people who made like $10,000+ just from having made trades with a few wallets on Uniswap. Same thing with DYDX, 1inch, et cetera, et cetera. So definitely check this out. I wish there was a way for me to know about these in the future to say like, hey, go use this app before this date because they're going to airdrop a token, but nobody really has that luxury of knowing that, I guess, unless you're insider with the protocol. But what's the next best thing? Well, I get this question a lot, is how do you get an inside track on these types of things? Well, basically, it's used things a lot on blockchain. I know that can be very expensive on Ethereum, right? Because gas fees are high. Maybe you might use, maybe the cost of using a Dapp one time is going to cost you several $100s, and you don't want to risk that for this, to maybe get free tokens. Well, I would say the next best thing on this would be to try to do it on a Ethereum-based layer 2, all right, for Ethereum projects specifically, where you get to go try a bunch of stuff. Maybe it's on Polygon, maybe it's on some EVM compatible chain, Avalanche, whatever. Basically trying this out, just testing these apps and just make a couple transactions on them, even if it costs you a lot of money where the fees are lower, because it's very likely that you'll see these airdrops happen again. And the more things you try and test out, especially with small amounts of money that you can risk, the higher you'll increase your chances that you could be eligible for one of these if you're not already. So, let me know in the comment section below. Do you have an ENS name? If you want to share it, feel free to share it. Not everybody wants to. That's okay. But if you're eligible for the airdrop, let us know. All right, so let's look at what's going on with the crypto markets for sure. Because Bitcoin is hovering around $64,000. I really want to check what's going on with Ether, right? Because Ether is trying to make new all-time highs as we speak. And I think it actually did make a tiny. I think we actually did cross all-time high depending on what exchange you look at recently. Let's look. Hold on. So right here we're at 4,485. Let's see what CoinGecko officially tells us. I was watching a couple different exchanges earlier. Hold on. Yeah, so according to CoinGecko, based on their aggregated price, it officially says we made a new all-time high 1 hour ago. Okay, so what do I think is happening with these prices? Basically, we're seeing some resistance around all-time highs with these major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether. And I've been talking about this, that it wouldn't surprise me if this happened, okay? Especially with Bitcoin. We saw this happen last year, again, when Bitcoin was about $20,000, almost a year ago exactly. That was like December of last year, so like 11 or so months ago. Let's see if we can zoom out a year. Bitcoin kind of had this resistance, but once it really confidently broke the resistance, it was kind of like blast off. Okay, so I could definitely see that happening again. But it did kind of take a little while to confidently get up to that $20,000 price level and push past it. So I don't think it's like bearish that it's taking cryptocurrencies a little while to do this. If anything, it's good that we're kind of hanging out these price levels, because Ether did not stay at this price level, and Bitcoin did not stay at these price levels of $65,000 and $4,500 for very long without just like crashing massively. So if you're in this for the long term, then the fact that we're not just nuking downward is a move in the right direction. So, but I still holding by the position that I think that we are going to see significantly higher crypto price levels over the next several months. It won't necessarily be a straight line to get there. We might even see a dip from here before then, but that's still what I'm sticking with. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Especially airdrops tend to be little notice or sudden announcements. Yeah, especially with these types of airdrops, they are intended to be, kind of sudden announcements because they're sort of like retroactive loyalty. Like that's kind of the whole idea is it's incentive to use stuff early. It's the same kind of thing, liquidity mining, all that type of stuff. Because basically the alternative is if they tell you a date at which they're going to airdrop, all you're going to do is go use the app until that date, and then you're just going to stop. Or you're just going to use it like once and then never use it again because you know that they're going to airdrop a token. What coin is the airdrop for? So it's for the ENS governance token. So it's $ENS. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, definitely go check out the first part of the video where I explain this in detail. So another reason that it's good that crypto is, holding strong at these price levels and looking like it's got some bullish momentum to see higher price levels, is we kind of had a little bit of FUD yesterday, or fear, uncertainty, and doubt, bad news, all that type of stuff for crypto. So basically, the Biden working group calls for stablecoin issuers like Tether to be regulated like banks. Okay, so this didn't really have any effect, any negative effect at least, on the crypto markets. This is the type of stuff that sometimes we see dips in crypto prices whenever this type of stuff comes out, but not yesterday. Okay. So long-awaited report calls for Congress to pass laws to regulate stablecoins as banks. The recommendation could change the business model or even existence of firms like Tether. That's really, really ominous. So U.S. government published a long-awaited report on stablecoins on Monday outlining proposed measures that could pose challenges to the business model or even the very existence of some companies that issue digital tokens, which is designed to hold the same value as fiat currencies like the dollar. So stable coins, cryptocurrencies price don't change, pegged to a fiat currency like US dollar in this case. So we've been saying this for a long time. There's long been, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt around stable coins like Tether, and the issue is like, are they actually backed? Do they actually have the money they say they are? If everybody came and tried to redeem Tethers at the same time, what would happen? So there's just call for regulation on those, so that people don't just lose their money and that we don't have just, money getting printed out of thin air in cryptocurrency markets that could artificially inflate prices, which there's lots of stuff that artificially inflates price already, but they want to be able to control and regulate it. So at the end of the day, like I said, I think crypto can do just fine without regulations. However, I'm a realist and thinking that, we're going to see regulations happen in crypto. The best outcome based on that reality is trying to get the best regulations that we can. And I think that looks like essentially writing them from scratch specifically for crypto rather than trying to take existing regulations and graft them onto what's happening in crypto, because it's not a perfect one-to-one transfer of what's happening in traditional finance with what's happening in crypto right now. But it's an artificial inflated price like fiat. Yeah, there's lots of artificial inflation out there. It wasn't a diss on crypto. Obviously, I like crypto. So views on decentralized storage solutions for the metaverse. I think a lot of them are going to be based on IPFS or very similar protocols. You see things that are based on IPFS that have, crypto mechanisms built into them like Filecoin, et cetera, et cetera. So somebody said that crypto, the market cap is at an all-time high. So let's actually take a look here. They might be right. Let's look here. Yeah, $2.85 trillion. It looks like, I think we are. Hold on. Yep. Let's take a look here. So crypto, basically, the entire crypto market cap basically is at an all-time high. Okay. So if I can pull this on my screen. Come on the screen. You can see it here. So essentially, this is like all the prices of all the cryptocurrencies added together, or the price of every cryptocurrency multiplied by the amount of circulating cryptocurrency added all together, or if you said another way, you look at all these cryptocurrencies on here and add up their market caps, it adds up to over $2.85 trillion, which is an all-time high for crypto. And the indication of that is that more capital's flowing into the space. Because you have to understand that, like, how do crypto prices go up in the first place? Well, it's either the same people buy cryptocurrency and they just are like rotating around different cryptos. You see this a lot, especially in smaller cap coins, or like fresh new money is coming in from the outside and putting buy pressure on the entire crypto market. In essence, like that, those are the kind of two options really. And the entire market cap going up is indication of outside demand for crypto. Now, it could be the exact same people putting more money that they earn some other way into crypto, but I don't think that's just it, right? We're seeing more and more trends of crypto interest and, more money flowing in from the outside. Okay, so let's look at a couple other things here. I want to pull up a tweet that I thought was pretty good. Talking about what's going on with crypto's fundamentals right now. So let me find it here. Okay, so this is so a couple reasons why it's really good that crypto's at current price levels compared to other metrics is that in terms of social sentiment, there's way less, euphoria, in my opinion, right now than what we've seen at previous price levels. I mean, I think this is supported by the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Right now, we're at 73, which is greed. Of course, that means that people essentially are greedy for Bitcoin and want to buy it and not sell it. It just oscillates from fear to greed. But it's only to 73, and we've seen this thing like at slammed all the way at 100 at these price levels before, which is like extreme greed. Like, that's what this color is, above 76 to all the way up to 100. And then also, we've seen it like slam all the way up there at these current price levels, and we're not quite at that. And I don't see evidence of that like on my timelines, my socials, where people are just like, screaming at the top of their lungs that, oh my gosh, crypto's at all-time highs. So that's good. But another thing that I want to talk about is this tweet that Willie Woo put out. I thought was pretty solid. So he's saying, while Bitcoin is building up strength for all-time high escape velocity, ETH is quietly building even stronger on-chain fundamentals not yet reflected in the price. Okay, so I've been talking about this for a long time. Of course, my long-term cryptocurrency investment thesis is as you create technology that has, value to an end user that would attract them to use that in the first place, and it gets people to use it, and as that technology has cryptocurrency, integrated into it in an inextricable way, that basically the value of that network, the value of that technology can accrue to the cryptocurrency itself based on just sheer supply and demand economics. And we've been looking at the on-chain metrics for Ethereum and how they've been so bullish. We increased users, increased network activity, increased everything. And the price hasn't just rocketed off to the moon relative to these metrics. And it's kind of what he's saying here. Or not, that's not what he's saying here, but what he's saying here is consonant with what I just laid out. So while Bitcoin is building up strength for all-time high escape velocity, ETH is quietly building even stronger on-chain fundamentals not yet reflected in the price. Okay. So you can see what he's outlined here with the Ethereum supply shock. Okay, so this is basically the exchange supply shock and then the market price. So you can see basically the supply shock on the exchange going up like this, and the price hasn't really reflected that just yet. which could be interesting for Ether because basically another way of saying this is that Ethereum is essentially undervalued relative to other cryptocurrencies with similar metrics, okay, or based on the same types of metrics, okay. And a lot of people would argue this, that ETH is undervalued. There's also lots of people who would say that even based on these metrics, let's not look at the metrics as much and just think about the overall trend, that Ether is undervalued relative to the trend of total crypto market cap going up. Which, I mean, if you just look at this chart from a year, if you look at it on a linear scale, it basically looks like a parabola forming. If you look at it on a log scale, it looks like a straight line. And the line kind of starts to slow down, which, relative to trend, if you were to draw a straight line, in my opinion, the trend should be kind of going straight up through here. What's the best place to find new projects? It depends on what you're talking about. If you're trying to find low cap gems, I mean, honestly, like Twitter, Discord, it's probably the best place to do the boots on the ground DIY research. By the time they hit YouTube, they're usually not really just like they're kind of old news at that point, or the opportunity's kind of passed. But that being said, I mean, the entire space is going up. So if you find out about stuff on YouTube, it's still probably kind of early, depending on where you are in the overall trend. Somebody says get a job instead. That's actually pretty good advice, especially in blockchain. So, I mean, it's not bad to want to find new tokens. I mean, it's awesome. I don't spend a lot of time searching for new projects. I just watch things as they come up, and if I see a good opportunity, I take the opportunity. I'm not always on the hunt for the next 100x altcoin gem, but if I see one that I think is, I'm gonna jump in. Now, not always in a huge way compared to the rest of my holdings, but yeah, that's kind of my modus operandi, I put it that way. Same with NFTs, all that type of stuff. So somebody's saying they'll get a job instead. That is an important thing. At the end of the day, what I try to teach you on this channel is how to learn these skills so that you can, further your whatever your long-term goal is in blockchain, whether it's to change your career, get a job, become a freelancer, build your own project. That has a better upside for more people over the long term, in my opinion, than just trying to hunt out all of these smaller cryptocurrency projects. Now, I don't think it's bad, like I said, but if you have to devote more of your time to one thing, I would highly recommend doubling down on your skills in blockchain. It's one of the highest, most in-demand skills in tech. It's one of the highest paying skills in tech. I mean, you might be able to work on a project that could give you tokens in addition to a high compensation already. There's a lot, you're going to have an asymmetric informational advantage by working at one of these places. You may not even be having to sit here and ask somebody on YouTube, hey, what's your next crypto pick? You might just be surrounded by people who have the inside track all the time. So there's lots of huge benefits by working in crypto, if you're not already. And one of the great things about crypto is because it's in such high demand, on the grand scheme of things, it's relatively easy to transition into. Now, not just easy, not just dead simple easy. It takes effort, all right, it takes work, but with the right, with the right tools, okay, it's a lot easier than going back to college, getting a new degree, getting an advanced degree, whatever it is, to go do some other job that requires a bunch of credentials. Most people can reskill who are, motivated and like this technology and are fascinated by it with a lot less time, energy, and money. I'll put it that way. Say I'm finishing my informatics engineering bachelor. Want to learn Solidity. Do you think I should do it? Of course you should. even if you decide not to change your career, which let's just say let's say you get a job with your degree, just straight on that career trajectory. I still think it's going to be a big benefit for you to learn Solidity. What is SC? Smart contract. Can I learn Solidity just as well on Windows as Mac? Short answer is yes. The long answer is I've helped people, on all three major operating systems, Mac, Windows, and Linux. And people have the hardest time on Windows getting their development environment set up initially. So understand that before you get into it. But if you can get past that, you should be mostly good. Learn Solidity or JavaScript first for blockchain development with no coding experience. Solidity. So you always want to start with the thing that you want to learn. Make that your primary goal. Start there first. You don't need to learn a bunch of other programming languages before you learn blockchain. Start with the most high-value, potent thing that is Solidity, okay? Learn everything else as you go. Now, you'll probably get to JavaScript pretty fast after you learn some basic Solidity because you're inevitably going to need to write some tests, create a script that talks to your smart contracts, create a front-end website, whatever. And that's when you'll learn blockchain. That's when you'll learn, JavaScript, but you should kind of cross that bridge when you get there. The whole reasoning behind this is it's a more efficient way to learn. Some people just like to go kind of mindlessly learn a bunch of stuff before they get to the programming languages. You can do that, but here's a couple problems with it. One, you're not going to see the reason why you're learning something. Think about every time that you were in school, and you might have said this or somebody else said this, and like a teacher's talking, and they're like, when am I ever going to use this? Well, that's exactly what you're going to think if you're just kind of like out there just playing around with programming languages that aren't doing what you're supposed to do with them, or what you are going to end up doing with them long term. That's the first reason. The second reason is the longer something takes, the more likely you are to give up and lose interest, okay? And then the last thing is it's context. Information is way stickier. Skills are way stickier when you're actually using them in the context that you're going to, apply them in. Another way you could think about it is what's the best way to learn a foreign language, like a spoken language? It's through immersion. So the best way is to go just live somewhere and listen to people speak it and then speak it back. It's painful. It's not. There's uncomfortable. I should say it's uncomfortable, but it's the best way to learn. And you don't when you go do that, you're not sitting there with a textbook doing lessons every day. You might get a phrase book and learn some really important words, or maybe you might learn some things by sight. But most of your actual applied learning comes from just doing it. Learning by doing is the best way to learn pretty much any skill. The problem is most people go through a very formalized education system that doesn't teach that way. And some things you can't, can't really learn by doing as a surgeon, at least not on humans. So there's reasons for some of it, but with coding, it's you can just start over, man. You didn't cut somebody's leg off. You just try again. All right, everybody. That's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so that more people can learn about blockchain. And also, I've meant to mention this. We are going to have another NFT Masterclass this Thursday, and that's just in 2 days. Inside, I'm going to show you how to create your own NFT project step-by-step, start to finish. Show you how to create a generative NFT project, create the artwork from scratch, all that type of stuff. You don't have to be an advanced coder. You don't have to be an advanced artist to do this. Okay, I'm going to show you everything inside. So hold your spot with the link down below. It'll be a one-time live stream event, so you need to sign up now if you want to join today. So as always, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications if you haven't already. Like this video. That really helps these out so more people learn about blockchain. And that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.